Hi, my name is Bill Hurd. In this video, I'm going to talk about my favorite series of Cameron putters, which is the Newport. I got a question a while back, and somebody said, hey, what Cameron putter do you prefer? Obviously, there's a lot of different shapes out there, a lot of different styles. For some reason, ever since I played my first Cameron back in early 2000s, it's always been the Newport for me. I've owned many of them, have a few now, so I kind of want to walk through the evolution of the Newport. So kind of to start it all off, the Newport began with the old Ping Answer 1, and Scotty, wanted to kind of make his take on this classic, very ubiquitous putter that was on all the tours. A lot of people played it, that sort of thing. So when he broke off on his own from Mizuno, Ray Cook, whoever else he was with, he started out Cameron Golf International, and his first version of essentially what's the Newport today is the Classic 1. So this is kind of the original, this is kind of the very origin of the Newport for Scotty. So I'll leave this out. We'll kind of compare and contrast how things have changed over the years. So after the Classic 1, when he signed with Titleist, and I'm going to say this is like 95 time frame, the very first Newport that he did, and this is actually the second one he did, this is the oil can model. It's exactly the same as the first one, which was the Black Oxide Gun Blue series, and that was like 95 to 98. Again, very similar lines, very similar setup to the Classic 1. So really not much changed except just oil can, a little bit different finish, a little bit different graphics, that sort of thing. After that, Scotty followed that up with the Pro Platinum line, and that was like 99 time frame. Basically took the same shape of Newport, put a nickel finish on it that was a lot less maintenance. At the time, I think my first Newport, I remember, I played it on a green that had some fertilizer on it, and lost the finish off the bottom, and I was pretty well distraught over that. But anyway, Pro Platinum, a little more durable. There actually wasn't a true Newport in the Pro Platinum line starting out. There was a Newport mid-slant, so it did not have the plumber's neck. Other than that, again, same shape, not really anything's changed. That one's a little beat up, my apologies for that. Now, I said there was not a true Newport in that line. Well, not 100% true. Scotty added what's called the Newport Mil Spec, and the idea behind the Mil Spec is that you could get a Newport in the length and weight of your choice. And he made, I believe, 4 different lengths of this. I think he had actually a 36-inch that weighed 320 grams, a 35-inch that was 330, that's the traditional weight of all his putters, then a 34 that's 340, 33 that's 350. These are highly sought after, known as the Poor Man's 009. I will have a little more information on that later in the video. Really a classic Cameron putter. If you have a chance to pick one of these up, it's a good thing to have in your collection. Really cool. This one I had kind of customized in my lime green and black, and it is a 34 340 that actually weighs a little bit more than that. Okay, so after Pro Platinum, Scotty wanted to get a little more stainless in the mix, less issues with dings that would rust and that kind of thing. So added the Studio Stainless line, and I believe that was like 2002-ish time frame that ran for a couple of years. This is the stainless Newport Beach, same shape. It's got the sound slot in the bottom, which is pretty cool. I think it's the only production OTR that Scotty's done with the sound slot. Could be wrong about that, but it's off the top of my head. So again, very similar in shape. This one's a little beaten up as well. Now after the Studio Stainless came the Studio Style. I believe we're talking like 2005, 2006, somewhere in there. This is kind of forgotten about, in my opinion, from what I've seen in Cameron putters, and this is really one of the coolest putters that he's made. It's actually got a German stainless steel insert, and for those of you that don't know, to buy a German stainless steel tour putter from Scotty will cost you in the $8,000, $10,000 range. This GSS insert was put in an OTR that you can get for a couple $100 right now if you're lucky. Again, this one, I had it painted in kind of the lime and black motif. Really nothing's changed about this shape. Again, you're still seeing the very classic Newport shape, maybe a couple of minor modifications, but nothing super noticeable. Now that's about to change. So in 2000, I believe it was 8, he came out with what I think is one of the neatest Newports ever, and that is the first generation of the Select putter. So this one is, you'll see basically the change in shape on this is Scotty was realizing that a lot of players kind of favor a little bit of toe up on their putter, and they'll actually have a little bit improper alignment because of that. And so he actually raised the top edge of that putter to make it appear a little bit higher while actually having having the putter flat. I really love the flat dots on this one. First Scotty putter with interchangeable weights, so that was really a big deal. No longer did you have to go with either a 330 gram head or buy a tour putter or get a mil spec. You could make the head weigh whatever you wanted. So that was pretty cool. Now 2012 came the one thing real quick in that time frame, that is also the same idea behind one of Scotty's most famous Newports, which is the button back Newport. Obviously we all know Brooks Koepka uses a button back Newport too. He's won a few majors with it. So again, same idea. It's got kind of the raised toe to prevent you from kind of high toeing it at address. So after that, Scotty experimented with different kind of face millings, and the deep milling was kind of a big deal on tour, along with the black PVD finish. In 2012, he released another cool Newport, and that is the deep milled black PVD model. And this, I remember when this came out, I thought, man, we're actually getting a tour putter as an OTR. Thought that was pretty cool. So you will see a couple of slight changes to this particular model. And one thing that I notice about this one is it feels like the toe bumper is a little bit longer. I don't want to bang these together. Seems to be going a little bit longer than the traditional Newports, and that could just be an optical illusion. I definitely see it when I look down at this putter. It looks to me like the toe is a little bit chunkier than the heel. So kind of, again, getting away slightly from the classic Newport shape. Just some improvements and some changes that Scotty sees fit to kind of roll in from year to year. They ran with a version of this putter for 4 years. This one was black PVD for 2 years, and then it went to silver again. After that, Scotty came out with the, kind of to further the Select line, came out with the Insert Select. Neat thing about this putter, I'm not a huge fan of insert putters, but this has been a fairly popular putter. It's got the 3 dots again. Neat thing about this putter is that it's kind of got the more squared shoulders. So in the history of, and I'll go back to the very first, the oldest Newport I have here, you will see that the shoulders on this Newport kind of have a natural arc to them. And that's been pretty much every Newport with the exception of the mil spec up to this point. The mil spec was available with the arced shoulders and also with straight shoulders, which was the generation 2 of the mil spec. Whole other conversation. But you've kind of got these strong shoulders here, so again, you're getting that look at address that's a little bit more like a tour putter, and I'll touch on that here in a minute. And then obviously where we are today, very recently, Scotty released the Special Select series, and a couple of cool changes on this one. Now he's back to the straight shoulder. This is actually concave, whereas previous square shoulders have been convex, and the idea is to minimize the glare on a sunny day at address. It's got that nice, shallow, very old school Newport look to it, very low profile putter. He's actually moved the weight around on this one quite a bit so that when you put the weights in, most of the weight is going to be at the corners of the putter, giving you a little more MOI, I believe, a little more reliability in your alignment of stroke. Anyway, lot of Newports in the history. I probably missed 1 or 2. I guess the bonus feature here is going to be, what's the difference between a Newport and a Tour 009? Well, I can hit on that real quick here with my Tour Rat, which is a 009 head shape. You go back to the original Ping answer. Two big differences that I see in this is you've got this flat top line here, you've got the flat top line on the answer, and I don't know if you noticed, but it's a little bit wider cavity, and this wide cavity matches the old Scottsdale answer in width. I believe it's about 2 1/8, 2 3/16, something like that. One thing you'll notice about Newports is the cavity is not as wide by about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. So again, is that going to make you hit more putts? Not necessarily. I'm just trying to point out, okay, what's really the difference between a 009 and a Cameron OTR Newport. So that is all the time I've got today. Thanks so much for watching. If you've got questions, hit me up on YouTube, on eBay, or on my website, customscotties.com. Thanks a lot.